I want everybody to know that we're going to be starting the meeting a little early. Attention! We're going to be starting the meeting in about 5 minutes, a little bit early, because we have a lot of things today. And also, please refrain from using the facilities at the Wi-Fi facilities here, because it pulls on the tech equipment. Thank you. I want to welcome everyone to the Rotary Club of Coronado to our weekly Wednesday meeting for April 19th. And I want to welcome all of our guests and all of our members, and especially all of our guests and members that are joining us on Zoom today. So as we always start out with our inspirational invocation and pledge, if Fred Corey, if you can come on up, and if everybody would please rise.
Thank you, President Luann. I'm borrowing on an invocation crafted by Julia Bernarth of the Rotary Club of Sandy Springs, Georgia. Here are 4 quotes that reflect the Rotarian mantra. Only a life lived for others is worth living. That's Albert Einstein. Everyone can be great because everyone can serve. Martin Luther King, Jr. The only ones among you who will really be happy are those who will have sought and found how to serve. That was Albert Schweitzer. And the fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. And the fruit of service is peace. Mother Teresa. Now please join me for a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. You're welcome.
Thank you, Fred. Okay, past president, here comes past President Dan Orr for our visiting Rotarians and our guests. And I do want to say on the microphones today we have Georgia Farrell, a Red Badger, and I think Jerry Brown way back over there on the right, and they're both doing a checkoff for their Red Badge requirement.
Ah,
There you go.
there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had at least two people find us today as we play hide the meeting room. First, senior active from Green Valley, please welcome Bill McGibbon. Hi, Bill. And the fire chief, beat that, from Valley Verde Rotary, Chuck Wonder. And now we're going to attempt to do something different. We're going to attempt to introduce guests of Rotarians from left to right, rather than just random. My left.
That's a good point. This way.
This way. All right. First up will be Paul Courier.
Than you. Bruce Johnson, my guest. Oh. Bruce Johnson, my guest.
Hey.
President Luann, fellow Rotarians and guests, I would like to introduce 2 guests from the Imperial Beach Neighborhood Center. We have John Griffith Attell, and we have Deborah Benson, and you'll be hearing from them in just a little bit.
Great. Before Todd Little goes, my special guest is Dave Campbell, call sign Soup.
President Luann and fellow Rotarians, I'd like to welcome for a second time to our club my neighbor. She is going to begin her paperwork very soon to be joining our club in just a few weeks. So the visit was successful. Please welcome Julie Lowell.
Okay, now the middle of the room. My middle,
And proceeding on.
which is getting bigger. John Duncan.
Good afternoon, President Luann, Rotarians, and guests. My guest, Bob Francis, stand up. Bob and I have been friends for over 15 years, and he's raised his 5 kids, and I raised my 4 kids here. And I'll just say, his twins, Jack and Jared, and my triplets were the meanest, toughest micro soccer team ever to grace Skylands. Thank you.
On the right. My right.
Madam President, fellow Rotarians and friends, I'm happy to have Judith Mansfield. She's a special guest today, and she's returning to our Coronado Rotary Club.
Hi, thank you, President Luann, fellow Rotarians. This is Chris Toogood here, and I'm introducing Andrew Gade as my special guest. And Andrew has a successful window tinting business in San Diego for 17 years, and joined Coronado, started living over here about 2 years ago, and is excited to participate as a fellow citizen and community, help with the community. So we're glad to have him. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce a fellow Rotarian from over the bridge who's thinking about coming back to our club. Her husband used to be a member. This is Suzanne Franz.
Oh. Dan. Sorry. No, Dan France used to be in our club. Who's that?
President Luann, fellow Rotarians and guests, I'd like to introduce Sean Robbins, visiting us today, incidentally, the Coronado Rotary Club.
Ah. Ronnie. Is that you back there?
That's me back here. President Luann, Rotarians and guests of Rotarians. Closer. I'd like to introduce my friend Erica from Maryland. She's my sister from our family.
Ah.
We have an outlier.
Our guest, Chuck.
I apologize. I failed to introduce my son, and they asked me to do this. Caleb, stand up. This is my son, Caleb. Wonder. He heard Pop-Up and I were going to Rotary today, and then he heard the presentation, and he was super excited. And so how many 12-year-olds do you get that want to come hang out at the Rotary Club? So we're trying to raise him right there. So excited to have him with us as well.
Yeah. Don't oversell, Jimmy. All right, that it? Put a fork in us. We're done. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, and as we always do, we have our red badgers stand up so everybody gets to know who they are. I already did Jerry Bound right there on the microphone, Georgia Farrow back there on the microphone. I know that Arlene Inch is here somewhere. Arlene, you want to stand up? There she is back there. I don't know if Hanadi is here. I don't see him. I don't know if I'm missing anyone else. Or then if there's anyone on Zoom that would like to unmute as far as introducing a member or a red badge. Okay, I think we're good. You want to show the first slide? It's ready? Last Thursday, all of our hearts were broken from the sudden and devastating loss of our fellow Rotarian and friend Ron Bobian. As we all know, Ron was larger than life. Pillar in our community, longtime business owner, involved in our schools, especially in water polo. But I think Ron's legacy is as an amazing Rotarian. He was a member of our club for 47 years, club president in 1984 to 1985, Rotarian of the Year, where he wore the green jacket proudly, district governor for our District 5340, 1994 to 1995, Rodeo International Director from 2003 to 2005, He served as aide to past Rotary International president and trustee John Germ, in which they both traveled for Rotary throughout the world. Ron was a Paul Harris Fellow, a member of Paul Harris Society, a major donor, and much more. Ron was known in Rotary throughout the world. Going to the International Convention in Houston last year, LA for President-elect training, and recently to Rotary headquarters in Evanston, Illinois, when anyone heard that we were from the Rotary Club of Coronado, the first thing they always said was, "We love Ron and Vicki." They were a beloved couple, as we all know. So can you show the next slide? So the next slide I really like. It shows Ron wearing that green jacket proudly. That was last year when he inducted myself as president and the new board. And as you can see that banner, it just shows what an amazing, thoughtful, and kind man he was. He had, at the Rotary International Convention, he had RI President Jennifer Jones sign that banner for me and gave it to me when he inducted me as president. Everyone knows Ron's sense of humor, so the video that we're going to show next is perfect for that. You showing something?
Do solemnly pledge that I will faithfully carry out the office of District Governor for District 5340 of Rotary International. And I will, to the best of my ability, support Rotary International Zones 26 and 27 Director Vicki Pullins. Yes, I will. We can just read it like and Rotary International President. Don't get ahead of me. And I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation. Pause. Congratulations, District Governor Dan.
Okay, so that, as you can see, is so Ron, and I want to thank Dan for being a straight man on that one. So also very soon, we'll be sharing information for those that would like to donate in Ron's memory. Also, we've decided that our June social is going to be dedicated to Ron, and it's going to be at Carol McClellan's home. In fact, the May social, we don't have a place for yet because it was supposed to be at Ron and Vicki's home. But I want to really give a sincere thank you, Carol, to all of us for everything that you've done for the family in this difficult time. So thank you. So I know that we all want to extend our heartfelt sympathy to the Beaubien family. So if everyone could please stand, if possible, for a moment of silence to honor the memory of Ron Beaubien, who leaves an incredible and lasting legacy. Please be seated. Okay, if we can have the announcement slide for what's coming up. First, I want to say that Sheriff Doug has said that we're going to try something different starting next week. When you come in, if you've already paid prior to when you registered, you don't have to check in with him. So it's just those that have not paid. Like I said, we're trying something new, so we'll see if that works. First on the slide, Rotarians at Work Day is Saturday, April 29th. Rainier will be talking about that in a second. Then we will have the May Rotary Social on Thursday, May 11th, and I'll announce later where that will be. The beach cleanup, Saturday, May 13th. Then lawn bowling. Lawn bowling will be on Saturday, June 10th at 12:30 at the Spreckles Center. And Natalie Bailey's looking for those that want to sign up to be on a team for lawn bowling. So if you're interested, because I know they'll need to practice, go ahead and see Natalie Bailey. Low Tide Ride and Stride, Saturday, June 24th. Last Monday, they had a committee meeting, and everything seems to be progressing with that. But if you want to register, make sure that you go online and register for that. And then there will be a Rotary networking event per Natalie Bailey on Thursday, May 25th from 5:30 to 7:30. We'll announce that later because we're not quite sure of the location at this time. So next, as a lot of you have gotten birthday cards from your Rotary family, every once in a while when there is a birthday and that person shows up at a weekly Wednesday meeting, we need to give a huge happy birthday for even coming on your birthday. So Mark Warner, happy birthday. And little did you know that there's another famous person that has their birthday on the exact same day, and that's Paul Harris. So his birthday, is today, and he was born in 1868 in Racine, Wisconsin. So all the Wisconsin people know. There you go. Well preserved, though, I must say. So important dates. I want everyone to know that the very last Wednesday in May, May 31st, we are having our noon meeting at the famous iBar on Base. So it will be $36, and you can register now because there will be a cutoff for that through May 15th is when we'll do the cutoff. If you go to the website, coronadorotary.org, you pull up the calendar, hover over that event, and it will pull up, or click on it, it will pull up the registration. And we're asking right now that it only be one member and one guest because of the popularity of that. And the speaker for the day will be the CO Base Captain McKesson. So he'll be our speaker. So don't forget to sign up for that because we don't want to lose you out on, you don't want to lose out on that. Last night we had the April board meeting, and quite honestly, we discussed a lot of things, but nothing that's earth-shattering, I guess. If we can have returns out and about, the slide. So as you know, wherever you go, there is always the Rotary wheel. And Natalie Bailey sent me that. Mayor Bailey was running in the Boston Marathon, and lo and behold, there is the Rotary wheel. And congratulations to him. He finished it, and I think he's on his way to Nepal to climb Mount Everest. So congratulations to them. Next slide for Feed the Needy. So a couple weeks ago, a few members went to Father Joe's to serve breakfast, and as you can see, they do need more people to sign up. So they will be going back in the fall. So if you're interested, especially if you haven't done it for a while, or if you're a new member and would like to do that, if you would see past President Mary Griffin or Bob Griffin, and if you can raise your hand so if they know where you are, so you can see them after the meeting. And then also I wanted to let you know that on the Coronado Rotary thank you board over there are some new letters if you want to look at that after the meeting. Also, I wanted to thank the members that showed up that helped with the flower show. Much appreciated for all of you that did that. Next, the City of San Diego Your Safe Place is an ask from the district that they wanted, and I think they sent it out, Jamie sent it out last week, on items that they needed for the city, and there's hundreds of them, for domestic violence, victims, elder abuse, sex trafficking, sexual assault. They need like face wash, shampoo, conditioner, lotion, soap, and we're collecting that through the end of the month. So you can bring, and some people already have, brought items to the Wednesday meeting, or you can always drop them off on my front porch, which a lot of people have had. So thank you for everybody that's done that so far. So next, if we can.
Everybody.
Are we good? Okay. Next, we'd like to get a microphone to Heidi Bringer, and she is going to tell us about the Interact Service Project in Mexico.
Okay, we need your help. We have a great group of Interact students that are heading to Mexico to visit the orphanage on May 6th. It's a Saturday. If you already have, here's your key here. You have to have your youth verification through Rotary to help join us. But if you do, and you would like to help us get there and drive us to the border and spend the day with us, or head back and then we can come back and you take us home at 4:30, that would be greatly appreciated. I am going to send all this information out in an email later on today. We are also collecting for donations. We are going to have a barbecue. We are bringing crafts and games, and so we would like to bring lots of fun activities, and we'll need a little bit of help paying for that. So I will send you a link to donations, even if it is $3 or $5. Anything would really help us make this day super special. We're also going to have a barbecue with hamburgers and hot dogs and lots of fun for the students. I do want to say I am dressed for Jim today, our guest speaker. And our Top Gun, I don't usually wear sweats to school, but it was our jogathon. And we were at the high school and got to see lots of high school students over there cheering us on. And this brings me to part of our interactors were also there cheering on. We need donations to bring to the orphanage on the 6th. So if you're so inclined to help us out with items like baby wipes, toilet paper, shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, Pine Sol, all the things will be sent in an email, so just be on the lookout. And you can bring them to the high school office before May 6th. It would be greatly appreciated. So be on the lookout for an email, and hopefully you can join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Next, if we can get a microphone to Dr. John Pedrati. Right here.
Thank you, President Lynn, and to all my fellow members and guests tonight, particularly for Captain DiMatteo, good friend of mine. Welcome, sir. I'm identifying our date again is the 4th of July parade. We're going to be at my in front of my house on the 2nd of July for the construction of the float again, and then the 3rd of July, the decorated. Anyone's welcome to come help us. It's a lot of fun. And then we're also having our meeting at my office tomorrow night for our second meeting for planning purposes for those who are kind of in the committee members and want to help run it with me, or anyone wants to join up and help us, they're welcome to come as well. At my office at 1st and C in Coronado. My house is at 339 Palm Avenue. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, John. And then next, if we can get a microphone to Anir.
Stand in front of there so everyone can see me. Hello. Wow.
You want to be
Thank you, President Lewin. Fellow Rotarians and guests, Rotarians at Work Day is finally coming around. It's 10 days away. You'll see on your table sign-up sheets. Most of you have signed up already, so thank you very much. And even if you can't go, just please mark that on your name, so then we have you accounted for. So it's going to be from 8 o'clock until 12 o'clock. The commitment is usually about for 4 hours. And at the end of that, we all get a nice lunch to thank you for your hard work. And so we'll also be sending out a P-mail and it'll have the addresses for where to go meet, the things that you should go bring to get ready for. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you so much, and we're looking forward to a great year.
Thanks, Munir. Make sure you sign up for that because that is an all hands on deck for everyone to do that. So next, it is my pleasure, it really is, to have Ginger Cox come up to introduce our guests from the IB Neighborhood Center.
President Luann, fellow guests, fellow Rotarians, I should say, and fellow guests, I would like to introduce to you the Executive Director, John Griffin Attell, and Deborah Benson, who is the Food Director at the Imperial Beach Neighborhood Center. Late last year, President Luann got us in touch with the IB, what we call the food pantry, and also the Saturday showers facility. And ever since in January, we began to organize. We now have a committee of 17 people, and we go down to Imperial Beach at least once, if not a couple of times a month, and deliver food items. And we've also been delivering items for the Saturday shower that include shampoo, shaving items, and also sewing kits, that kind of thing. And I cannot tell you enough how much the committee and you who have contributed every single week, how much we appreciate what you have helped us with. I'm going to let Deborah Benson first talk, and then John will also address you. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Deborah Benson, and I'm the food director at the Imperial Beach Pantry. And I'd like to really thank you for all the support, the generous support that you have given the pantry and the right there. Okay, and the folks that we serve. It's a community of people who have insecurity in food. And also with the Saturday program, they have for the people who are unhoused, and it means a great deal to all of them. The people that I represent, the pantry, it's a lot of people on fixed incomes, it's families, it's young military, it's people who have a hard time supplementing the income to include the increase in all the costs that go into this. So I really appreciate everything that you've given to us, and the fact that you just are so generous. It really means a lot, and you really make a big difference in a lot of people's lives. Thank you very much. Oh, do you have a question? I'm going to let John take over.
Yeah, we do. If you go to ibneighborhoodcenter.com, you'll find some of the things that we need. The great thing about Debbie is that she creates an atmosphere that just isn't about giving out food. It's about creating community. So if you come down there, you will find people hanging around and talking, people who come and get bananas. I think they had a banana bread contest. And so people bring back food to share with others. And so it's really, really unique in that respect. But I want to tell you about something that's happening that maybe you don't know. For 7 years, we've worked on a bigger dream and a bigger vision, and it's going to happen in about a year. We're going to tear down the facility, and we're building a new facility. The front part will be a 50-unit affordable housing complex for very low-income seniors and also seniors who were formerly homeless through a permanent supportive care program. And in the back will be the new neighborhood center. And Debbie will have what will look like more like a Costco warehouse for a food distribution, because we're not going to just be delivering food out of that site. We want to be the hub for gathering food to that place and create food pantries throughout Imperial Beach to help empower churches and other organizations to make food available where they are. So we're really excited. So if you want to know more about that, we're having a fundraiser on May 13th. It's $25 for a brunch, at the site, and you'll see pictures of the new facility and be able to hear more about what's coming. So if you're going to start your cleaning of the beach on that day or after, you can come for some brunch at the neighborhood center on that day. And you can see me, I'll give you a little flyer. But thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, and I can tell you if you go down there, the volunteers there are amazing. So next I'd like to ask up Jane Simmerall and Carol Summer, and we're going to do a PowerPoint. About 3 weeks ago, the three of us went to Rotary International Headquarters in Houston, and it was actually Jane and I went as Carol's guests because Carol was honored for 2.5 days for becoming inducted as an Arch Club Society member. So I first want to show you this banner that we got from headquarters, which will hang proudly in the office. We don't have one of those, so Jamie will get that. And then if we can go through the slides real quick. Okay, keep going kind of through. You'll see this is the entrance to headquarters in Evanston. And as you go into the lobby, I mean, it is amazingly well done as far as all the things that Rotary does. This building is 18 stories. It was a vacant building, and I think it was, I have to look, 1987, Rotary bought the building. They used 3 of the floors, and they redid the building, and the rest of it they rent out to lawyers, doctors, and Northwestern University is there, so their office is there. So we can go to the next one, and this is when you walk in. It's just very, very impressive. And next slide. Okay, there's Paul Harris. What they do on one floor, they have the history of that you can visit, and anybody can visit headquarters. They have the history, and as you can see, Paul Harris has his handout. If you can go back one. Paul Harris has his handout, of which each of us had to have a picture taken, shaking his hand. And then in the back, you can see they have a replica of the first office where the first meeting was for Rotary. If you want to go to the next one. So if you can see on that one is just, it was called Room 711. That was the first building, Unity building. That was torn down, and when that was torn down, Rotary then brought the office then to the current headquarters. And next slide. And this is what it looks like. You can keep going. And just everywhere around there is just so much about Rotary and what they've done and the history, and it's just so well done. You can go again. Okay, so this one is again focusing on water. And if you notice those buckets, they want you to lift them up because they weigh 40 pounds. And that is just showing how heavy it is when they don't have water to transport it. And as you can see, it takes Jane and I to hold up one, and there's Carol by herself pulling the 40 pounds. So there's the lady that rides the bike every day. Okay, the next one. This is just another picture. It's just everywhere you go on the Rotary floors, it's just so well done. All the flags of all the countries that Rotary has a club in. Next. So this is one floor. It's the Rotary International Hall of Honor. And they have Paul Harris. Just go back one. They have Paul Harris. And if you see down below, this is where they honor, where Carol was honored. And you go down the stairs. I just want to point that out. So next slide. So this is Jennifer Jones' office. She was out of the country, but they allowed us to come in, see her office. As you can see, she has a great view of downtown Chicago. So next slide. This is the boardroom where all the decisions are made. You can see all the screens. And then those 2 windows right there is because of the languages throughout the world that come to this boardroom, they have interpreters back there in that for all the different languages. And then if you can look at that back wall, there's a quote. And I love this quote. It's from Paul Harris. And so every time that the board meeting is there, this quote is, "Whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, it will be known by the results it achieves." So that is an amazing quote. So if you want to keep going, this one, they told us you have to go to the restrooms because what they've done, that's okay, well, what they've done is they have taken latrines, pictures throughout the world, and they put them on the doors to the restroom doors, which was really fun. We had a good laugh out of that one. Okay, next. So here is the actual 2.5-day celebration of Carol. And as you know, Carol is the first member in our club to be inducted into the Arch Clump Society. Now, yes. And John Matthews and Mary Ellen Matthews are also Arch Clump Society members where they became in John's prior club. So he's also an Arch Clump member, and that is an amazing honor. So here is Carol. As you can see, they have a kiosk there. So anyone that is a member, you can pull them up with their picture and a little bit about them. So next one. So what they do is the picture that Carol sends in, they actually etch it in glass. And those were all of the people that were inducted that weekend. And they were from Korea, the US, Taiwan, India, Bangladesh, Canada, Brazil, and Nigeria. So, and that's Carol pointing. That is the actual what the glass looks like, which is amazing. And then you see they have the country where they're from underneath. So this slide was taken, we were very, very lucky during that week. There were a lot of past Rotary International presidents, and those now are trustees. So on the left is, and I'm going to get the names wrong, so forgive me. Holger Knott, he was from Germany, RI President 2021. The next is Barry Rassin, Bahamas, 2018, 2019. What? I have to go faster, sorry. Ian Risley from Australia, 2017-18, Mark Maloney. Then at the end is 2019-20. So I do want to make an announcement. Carol wants to say something, and then I'll say something after Carol.
I just want to say that it was a very fun and inspiring weekend, and especially with my two buddies here. They made it really great, a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, it really was. I do want to make an amazing announcement. So Carol, to contribute an amazing amount to Arch Clump Society again, to polio in our club's name. Thank you, Carol. It's another donation. And for our club alone, with the double match from the Gates Foundation, our club will have contributed a little over $1 million. So thank you, Carol. So that was wonderful. So next, thank you very much. Did you want to say anything?
It was just a great 3-day weekend celebrating Carol. It was wonderful and so inspiring, and seeing people all over the world that love Rotary just like we do.
Yeah, very true. Okay, next, if Jean Marie Bond wants to come up to introduce our speaker, and I do want to say, because of the time, that Jim said that we won't do question and answer, but that he'll stay after. So if you have questions for him, he'll stay after the meeting.
Well, I have to say that we are very lucky to have our own Maverick Top Gun living right here in Coronado. After graduating from UC Berkeley, where I understand he was best friends with Arlene Inch's son, he followed in his father and his brother's footsteps and joined the Navy, became a fighter pilot. He retired as a captain and clocked more than 6,000 hours of flight time in 5 different fighter aircraft. He's the only pilot in aviation history with this accomplishment. And I also have it on really good authority that he runs one heck of a party in his backyard, because he's got a pizza oven and a beer on tap. So, Arlene, you get Jimmy to join our club and we'll have a place to go next in May. Captain Jim DiMatteo.
Thank you. Thank you, Jean Marie. It's okay for me to grab your little clicker. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much, not only for the intro, but more importantly, because she had to deal with me for the last about a year trying to get me here, and I kept changing schedules on her. So I appreciate all your effort in doing that. And Madam President and the entire Rotarian Club, it's my privilege and honor to come and talk to you today. We're going to cut it a little short because I'm going to go pretty quick. So especially for your son, if you want to talk afterwards, I'm happy to stay. And is he skipping school for this too? Absolutely. All right. So I think we have to talk for a couple hours about Top Gun after this. Anybody recognize this spot right here? Yeah. So this is this is about a few months ago, flying in. I probably got a noise complaint. I'm sorry. If somebody came through. No. Okay, could you advance? Okay, so for today, I'm going to go quick because we have to finish this within 25 minutes. A quick look at my past. I asked Jean Marie, what do you want me to talk about? And she said, do whatever you want. Talk about whatever you want. And then I looked at this. Normally, that would be about myself, being a fighter pilot. That's what we do. And then I look in the audience, and I'm like, dang it. I know these people very well. They're my friends. I can't lie. I can't exaggerate. I can't embellish. So I don't even know what to tell you guys because normally what I say is not appropriate. It's working. Okay. So I'm going to kind of concentrate a little bit more on something that I hope you guys are interested in, a little bit about a family tradition. If you do want to talk about Red Bull Air Race at the end there too, I can kind of mention that. So this was actually last week over Key West. I was flying down there and asked Jean Marie to send a logo for your club, and then went out and used some taxpayer money to get you a cool photo. And hopefully, will this work? We'll see. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Hello, Coronado Rotary! Hello, Jean Marie! Cheers!
There, now you know it's not photoshopped.
Love Coronado! Cheers! Talk to you soon!
So, and then I was here a couple weeks ago when the Padres, Tom Seidler came and talked to you guys. That was fun to watch him, and I showed him this photo after, and I said, hey, this is a real fastball, because this is like at about Mach 1.2. I've lived here in Coronado proudly for about the last 20 years or so. My daughter was born, we were in downtown, and then when she was about 1 year old, we moved over here to the perfect place to raise children and a family. And then my son was born here. Both Coronado school people, lots and lots of fellow friends that our kids played together and went to school together and cheered together, etc. And my wife, the daughter is just graduated from USC and is investment banking up there, working harder than I've ever worked in my life for sure, which is good. And then the son, valedictorian here at the high school, and went on to play UCLA rugby up there, and then he's the freshman up there. So they're about a mile apart from each other, which is really nice. So we, as empty nesters, tend to bother them a lot more than they, I think, want us to. My wife and I went to Cal. This is where Arlene Inch's son and I became, we're roommates and best friends there. And the reason I put that up there is if you drive by our house, you're going to see a house divided flag always flying. And yeah, so Bob Francis's two kids just got accepted to one USC and one UCLA. So good family rivalry right there. I started back in 1986. and then went to the big fighter, the F-14, and flew in with over there off the USS Nimitz, where your incoming president, Reuter, and I were shipmates. He was flying in the VFA squadron. I was flying in the Tomcat squadron. You can see a difference in height between us, and really what that means is I pulled a lot more G-forces. I won a lot more. He didn't. Tall fighter pilots are usually ones that don't pull as much G-forces. So fun times back then. This is actually then I came back here, started flying F-16s in the Top Gun adversary role. And this was my brother. So both my father, my brother, and I were naval aviators. So it's a fun tradition. Then went on after the F-16 went to the F-18, and then into the F-5, which is what I currently fly. Kind of went a little bit sideways from the typical naval aviation scenario, and opened up a couple bars and restaurants and nightclubs in and around San Diego, and the Gaslamp, Jimmy Love's, and Nico's after my son, the Steak and Chop House, Visions, etc. And then went on and for 14 years ran the Red Bull Air races. We had them here in San Diego 3 times, so if you guys want to talk about that, I can. This is in Budapest. I did 93 different air races in 65 different countries around the world. So lots of fun and lots of great stories. So when you talk international Rotarian type stuff, I got a little exposure to that. Went on to Oshkosh, if anybody knows Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's a huge air show, biggest in the world. Did that for 3 years. Was very proud to be voluntold to run the Centennial of Naval Aviation. I think Mark Warner, I came and talked about that to your group. Back when we did that, that was a lot of fun to be in charge of the 100th anniversary of Naval Aviation. For a few years, for 3 years, actually, I led and ran what was called the Breitling Jet Team. We did a 3-year tour around the United States and Canada, flying 120 air shows and doing a lot of iconic photo shoots and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun from an aviation perspective. That led into me running the Red Arrows, which was basically the Blue Angels of the UK on their tour through the US. And then right now, this is what I fly. So tomorrow flight, back up in Fallon, up at Top Gun, what we call Nautic now. It used to be called INSOC, and it's our master jet training base up outside of Reno, Nevada. This F5 is, I simulate the bad guys. What we do is go up and train and then teach, just like the movie kind of. How many naval aviators here? Okay, so kind of like the movie in the sense of we go up, I play the bad guy, play a lot of Chinese bad guys recently. So no balloons though, I haven't simulated any balloons. And then, again, this is flying. Anybody recognize that shot? Again, probably a noise complaint. I apologize. Actually, Mr. Sankey, you told me that you saw me fly, and you commented that I was quiet, right? So I take that as a compliment. Say again? Yeah. So here's our cockpit. It's an older jet, but it's very advanced, and we simulate basically the adversary platform. So if you're a naval aviator or any type of aviator, you see F-35 HOTAS, all glass cockpit. We have a tactical IRST, an infrared search and track system. We have a Durham jammer. We do all the things that the most advanced adversaries do out there. And you can see like this little guy right there. When I look through it, it tells me all types of information. It's weird that it can be only on one eye, but your brain just makes it work, and it's got infinite focal range and stuff like that. And it's almost like the Terminator. It gives you all types of little information that your brain can compute. So anyways, that's from the simulation of the bad guy side of the house. That's what we use up at Top Gun. But if you Google Top Gun, you're not going to see us. You're probably going to see that. or maybe that in the movie. And we tend to tease ourselves, but at the same time, we're very proud of that last movie. Especially was filmed here. Lots and lots of you guys know a lot about the movie. There's a difference between the logo, what we wear on our shoulder if you really went to Top Gun, and then what the logo is for the movie. This is the logo that we really wear, and it doesn't say the word Top Gun on it anywhere. So Paramount was like, hey, that doesn't work. You don't have the word of the movie on there. You don't have the brand or anything. So they created this one here. Overall, the kind of the motto or the mindset of a Top Gun, I think the Red Baron summarizes it well. The quality of the box matters little. Success depends upon the man who sits in it. And it's as true back then as it is, even though we're highly technologically advanced now, as it is now with General Patton saying, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. And that's kind of our motto. From the movie's perspective, I can talk all day about that if you want, but it was fun. It was entertaining. We shot a lot of it right here on the beach. If you guys go to the iBar, basically on the beach, they rebuilt kind of a simulation of what the iBar was and make it 20 times bigger because they have to have all the cameras and smoke machines and actors and producers and directors and everybody in it. But the simulation was really cool, and it's amazing. It took me a year to build a restaurant, and they built that thing in like 2 days, 3 days. It was really good. But
That's Harvard, Yale, Omaha. Shit, that's Fritz.
What the hell kind of mission is this?
So lots of bar scene shots there. You might not have seen, but if you look closer, right there, that's yours truly. So I was fortunate enough to get in some extra shots there. Bruckheimer said he was casting for a old, washed up, has-been, used to think he was something, never really was, but really thinks he's in something now, drinking in a bar kind of guy, and he said I nailed it. So anyways, that's my, and I got my wife in it too. Actually, was anybody else here in it? It was fun. There was some Coronado people there, and it was overall, I will say, because people ask about Tom Cruise all the time, and I would say that he was very impressive, very hardworking, very honest, very ethical in interactions with us. Would come in every single morning. I was there for 6 weeks, and he would shake hands of every single military person, a real military person in uniform, and say, thank you for what you do for our country. So I don't know his religion, I don't know his social life, but from a professional, respectful perspective, he was a rock star. So today, as well as being Mark Warner's birthday, it happens to be my father's and my mother's anniversary. And Naval Aviator, this is what I wanted to talk about a little more. If you guys recognize that location right here off the beach. So that's my dad, my mom, and then all my mom's mom, my grandma, and then her sisters and her brother. Back in the late 40s, they lived here, and it's to me, when you're looking at something like that, that's like we all have that picture with our family right now in black and white, probably. And that's my dad and I. One of my change of commands I did on the USS Midway, and he's the man that I respect the most in the world. So it's fun to be able to enjoy my career with him. This was a very special moment for both of us. I had been lucky to be inducted in the Aviation Hall of Fame, and then my dad was about 5 years ago or so. And so we were the only father-son ever to have that, which to me, I'm not talking about myself, it's more like that I can share something like that with my dad. It was very cool. So he also, on the, Avenue of Heroes, thank you very much, up and down the street here, and on the front page of your paper. He lives up in Walnut Creek right now. He's 102, and this is him on his 101st birthday. And yeah, so hopefully I've got good genes, but he didn't drink and party as much as I did, so I think... Bob Francis, quit laughing. I don't know if I'm going to make it to 102, but anyways, good genes, and he was a proud resident of Coronado for a long time and lived on North Island. But it is funny, I have 7 brothers and sisters, and so he said it was too expensive to get a house in Coronado, so we moved down to Imperial Beach back then. I told him it was the worst real estate decision he's ever made in his life. So anyways, he's still doing well. Maybe this will play for you.
Commander Dominic D. DiMatteo joined the Navy after finishing high school in 1940 and started his Navy career as an enlisted aviation metalsmith, then became a gunner in the backseat of a TBM Avenger. He was later selected for the V-5 cadet program and went to flight school where he earned his wings of gold. After flying over 7,500 hours and over 40 models of both propeller and jet fighters, DiMatteo retired with 31 years of service. He received multiple Distinguished Flying Cross and Air Medals, flying in combat in 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
I saw the whole world. 3 years. Fleet Wars, Hellcats, Bearcats, Corsairs. I'm very, very proud I can wear a Navy wing.
Mr. DiMatteo, shipmate. I'm Admiral Mike Gilday, the Chief of Naval Operations. On behalf of the sailors of your United States Navy, I want to join the chorus in wishing you.
I'm going to go ahead and advance that. It was a CNO giving my dad a happy 100th birthday shout out there, and then we ended up having a big event. The gala on the Midway happened to be the same night, so it was a very special moment for our family and a bunch of naval aviators that were there. But what I wanted to take the next 10 minutes to talk about, which was pretty special, was my sister found this book, and she sent it to me a couple years ago, and it was like, yeah, some Navy book. Well, it wasn't a Navy book. I thought it was his flight logs or something like that. It's actually a diary from 1940 to 1950. Every single night he wrote a paragraph about what happened that day. So through the war, through combat, through everything. And he's more, and I'm not just talking about just him, it's that whole generation, that greatest generation of that time. And you'll see some of the things, I think, the takeaways, at least when I read it, just page after page. 10 years, I read it from cover to cover, and there's not one time that he complained. I complained more today than he did in 10 years of fighting a war. Not a lot of drama, country and squadron over self all the time. Humility, the number of crashes and deaths were just staggering. I can't even imagine what it would be like in today's world, in today's Navy, in our naval aviation that we know today. We might have 4 or 5 accidents in a year. They were killing somebody every day, just every single day. He went to church pretty much every day, played sports every day, letters written every single day, watched a movie every night. And women, I'm not saying that in a bad way, like crazy women kind of stuff. I'm saying it in a way that I think he wrote letters back. They all wanted to have, I think, a girlfriend or a wife or somebody to come back to, because writing letters to your mom and your dad was different than writing letters to somebody that like a girlfriend. So it was interesting, that whole world. But everything's handwritten, so I'll just kind of read through it for you. But Japan attacks the U.S. Pacific possessions and declares war on the U.S. and Great Britain. News kept coming in over the radio all night. Oklahoma sunk, Langley damaged, 350 soldiers killed. It was interesting because he calls them Western possessions. I kind of didn't realize my history I don't know, you can go back and tell your teacher today, the state of Hawaii was not a state. It was a Western possession when it was attacked. So a couple more planes cracked up today, nearly every day now. 2 mishaps tonight. The Brewster cracked up, 2 men killed, 1 injured on the accidents. Wilson and Tucker were killed, which were both my dad's 2 roommates. And again, this is just every day. Wish I were in the South Pacific. I want to see some action. So I think from a world perspective, you think, oh, what was it like? He was 19 years old here. But they wanted to be in the fight. My dad's first squadron there, the Sundowners, which you know well. It was actually Japan was the rising sun, if you remember, and so they were trying to down the rising sun, and that's a current squadron today. VF-11, it was actually called at the time, established here at North Island. Incredible amount of combat and accolades, if you will. 31 enemy planes shot down in one day. Lieutenant JG became an ace in a day. All the way up, so just an incredibly impressive squadron back there, and looking through the diary, it's incredible to see that kind of stuff from a naval aviation perspective and just a historic perspective. The squadron was decommissioned in '95, and then I got to reestablish it in Key West in 2006. It was a true honor for me. If you remember, Admiral Zortman was CNF at the time. He's not a Coronadan, but he's a Coronadan, not a Rotarian here, and he let me establish this squadron and call it Bring Back the Sundowner World. Thought this was pretty fun, classic old squadron photo, but then he's got a bulldog as a squadron mascot on cruise on the aircraft carrier. All the classic old pictures of these guys, but do you remember Wizard McCabe, Reuter? So Wizard's dad and my dad were wingmen, and Wizard, he crashed and died, or his dad did, and so Wizard never knew him. He was like 2 years old, and so to share that diary with him, because he had a lot of stories about his father, like just going into town and stuff like that, was amazing. You remember Bad Bob? So Dan McCourt was my skipper, and he was also my dad's wingman. So fun times to have a DiMatteo and McCourt flying wing on each other 60 years apart. Squadron with McCabe got back from Ford Island with beer and booze for the party. So they were stationed over at Kahului. If you ever been to Maui, that airport that you fly into was actually a Navy squadron, and they used Navy planes to haul beer and booze back and forth, which was a morale booster. 2 hops today, one F6F, one an F8F. F8F was wonderful. So any of us in naval aviation know it's probably one of the best propeller-built airplanes in history. It's kind of funny. I got my first haircut by a woman in Waikiki. So just kind of establishes the time frame there. Some other stuff down here about NAS North Island here. Here's my dad here, and when I showed him this picture, he's like, yeah, the other 3 didn't make it. Made 2 refresher day landings, a night qual, made 2 landings. Rob Key caught the number 9 wire and then picked up the barricade, which was the big chain wall. Lieutenant Commander Green went through the barricade and then on top of Riley's TBM, both over the side. I mean, this was just every day. It just went on and on. Virginia, that's his sister. Mary had a date with a B-17 pilot. That's his sister as well. Got my lapel pin from VF-111, a beauty. So here's the lapel pin, and here it is right here, because my dad gave it to me when I took command of that squadron. So it was a fun connection there. small dogfights, 16 P-51s, 12 night fighters. I'll go quick here. This is a great one. Letter from Florence, that's my mom. Played horseshoes in a little softball, saw It's a Wonderful Life. If you remember the movie, that was a premiere back then. A very good movie. KEG 5 lost 4 planes, an SB-2C, 2 F-8Fs, and a TBM. So here you see a phenomenal movie, and then the same day you lose 4 airplanes off of your aircraft carrier. Like, and you just flip the page, and they keep going. Scramble takeoff from ready room to 10,000 feet in 4 minutes. But then he saw a burlesque show, so. Yeah, I guess everything's fast. I'll speed up here. Section lead, Foster put an SB-2C in the drink on FCLP on runway 29. That's right there at North Island. F-8F caught fire, and then F-6F spun in over the water right there. And then VA-19 torpedoed a fishing boat right there. So 4 things happen right in that bay on this day. Kind of just amazing stuff. So I'll finish up with here's VJ Day. He was with his family, Italian family. You know, Toby, Padino, Nikki, Frankie. Everyone had a good time. Some got stiff. So I think that means drunk, hammered, I guess. So Bob, we're using that name now. Don't get stiff. VE Day, Germany surrendered unconditionally. A lot of fellows should be going home soon. So I just wanted to show you that diary because to me, it's again not just about my dad. It's about that whole generation, and we are in charge of kind of keeping that same dedication to our country and to our children and our children's children going forward. So I just wanted to thank you to give me an opportunity to just give you a little exposure to a World War II naval aviator, and I'll be over here and answer any questions that you guys have. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for voicing it. Wow, I think he deserves a standing ovation for sure. Jim, thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you for your service. So next week we'll be at the Cays Yacht Club. This will be special for us. We're the first time hosting the final speech contest for the district. So we'll have a lot of district governor, the past district governors, that type of thing. So please come for that. From what I've heard, the speeches are amazing. So thank you again, and let me ring the bell. Go out and have, if I can find the hammer. Okay, there you go. Have a great Rotary Week.
Thank you, everyone in Zoom World. Thank you, everybody in Zoom World. I'll be ending the meeting right now.